Hey guys, it's Andrew from COGconnected, and I'm here today reviewing Pokémon Moon. It's safe to say that Pokémon Sun and Moon have easily been some of my most anticipated games of the year. For those of you who have never played a Pokémon game before, you're in for a very exciting treat. And for longtime fans of the franchise like myself, you're in for a new and fresh experience. For the most part, these changes are great and breathe new life into the franchise, often removing more tedious aspects that veteran players know all too well. Pokémon Moon's a wonderful experience and will satisfy both new players and old players alike. One of the most compelling, and probably my favorite parts of the Pokémon games has always been the story. In the past, it was always pretty much the same. You'd go around collecting all 8 badges, you'd stop the evil team from capturing the legendary Pokémon and wreaking havoc, and you'd go along your way. Pokémon Moon changes up the formula. After 29 hours of playing in the Alola region, I was introduced to a wealth of new characters. From allies such as Lily and Hau and the trial captains and Kahunas, to antagonists such as Guzma and Gladian, Pokémon Moon feels more like an RPG than the franchise has ever felt before. While the story itself is actually really exciting, funny, and at its climax quite dark, which is a welcome bonus by the way, it takes some time to get going. I was probably 4 hours into my playthrough before any semblance of the story actually began to emerge. Team Skull, the supposed antagonists of the game, really fell flat throughout the story as the real evildoers showed their face. This reveal isn't too much of a surprise, especially if you watched any previous trailers, but it's still very satisfying. Guiding each trainer through the story is the classic turn-based style of gameplay that any longtime Pokemon fan has come to know and love. Moon really revamps this classic layout, making room for Z-moves, this generation's kind of over-the-top, overpowered ability. The controls are really fluid and the gameplay is more user-friendly than ever before. Game Freak has done away with the pesky HM or hidden machines that would require the player to teach their valuable Pokemon less than valuable moves. Instead, we're introduced to Poki Ride, a key item that allows players to summon overworld Pokemon such as Charizard and Stoutland that provide the skills HM's used to. This is not only incredibly convenient, but also a ton of fun. I would take being cradled in the arms of a Machamp over having to teach my Pokemon strength any day. Another welcome feature to Moon is the overall difficulty of the games. I honestly haven't had much of an issue progressing through the main story in a Pokemon game in years. But in Moon, I actually found myself losing to other trainers. Trial Captains actually wiped my team, and by the time I had struggled to reach the Elite Four, I was spamming revives and full restores like never before. While trying not to get crushed by the imposing AI, trainers are treated to the beauty that is Pokemon Moon's Alola region. The game boasts all different kinds of locales, from mountains to beaches to villages and desert. Each of these areas is detailed and artfully designed better than I've ever seen the franchise to date. Even the NPCs are designed so well that the world they live in seems so alive. The music of the games plays a huge role in this feeling as well. Each area I traveled to had its own unique sound. From the whimsical tune of the starting town to the imposing beats of each of the island trials, I felt like I was living these games. Game Freak has embraced Hawaii completely when designing the Alola region, and this attention to detail makes these games stand out among the rest. With all these new features, some things are bound to be slightly overlooked. The customization system from Pokemon X and Y returns with what seems like a ton more options, but it's really just the same 3 or 4 shirts with different patterns. I was hoping to create a character with my style, but if your style doesn't involve a t-shirt and shorts, you're pretty much out of luck. I also think there was a hugely missed opportunity in not allowing your character to dress like Team Skull during a certain portion of the game's story. But that's just my opinion. Pokemon Moon is easily one of the best entries into the franchise to date. Never has the Pokemon world felt this immersive. If Pokemon Moon hints to what the future of the franchise has in store, then fans should be more excited than ever. Don't think twice about picking up a copy of Pokemon Sun or Moon today.